Welcome to Exam Sale. This voiceover will walk you through the syllabus for the Cisco Automating Collaboration Solutions exam, CLAUTO, and explain what you need to learn to pass. Overview of the CLAUTO blueprint shows 5 domains with exact weights. Unified communication is 25%, cloud collaboration is 25%, collaboration endpoints is 20%, meetings is 20%, and network programmability foundation is 10%. The recommended study time across all domains totals about 145 hours, and the exam blends hands-on tasks, scenario-based questions, and conceptual assessments. Unified communication carries 25% of the exam and focuses on automating CUCM and finesse operations using ACL and REST APIs. This is a hard domain with about 40 hours of study and a hands-on plus conceptual assessment. You will learn to use the CUCM administrative XML ACL API to execute SQL queries, manage users and devices with SOAP requests, configure lines and directory numbers, and understand ACL schema versions and throttle limits while updating phone button templates and UC service profiles. You will also master Cisco finesse APIs and gadgets by constructing REST requests for agent state, using finesse JavaScript APIs, developing open social gadgets, handling XMPP notifications, managing dialog and call control, and implementing user and team resource operations and workflow actions. Cloud collaboration is another 25% domain and covers developing applications and integrations for WebEx messaging and administration. This medium difficulty area expects about 35 hours of study and is evaluated with scenario-based tasks. You will learn the WebEx messaging API to manage rooms and memberships, send and receive messages with Markdown, implement webhooks for real-time events, handle file attachments, manage people and teams resources, configure bot and integration permissions, and implement the OAuth2 flow. On the administration side, you will automate user onboarding and license assignment, use admin audit event APIs, implement compliance officer roles, manage organization settings and device health via API, configure security and retention policies, and analyze report data programmatically. Collaboration endpoints represent 20% of the exam and focus on customizing Room OS devices using Zappy, macros, and UI extensions. This medium difficulty domain requires about 30 hours of hands-on and conceptual learning. You will study the Cisco Zappy architecture to execute X commands for device control, monitor X status for environmental data, configure X configuration system settings, implement feedback registration, use SSH and JSX API libraries, manage session authentication, and work with both XML and JSON Zappy payloads. You will also build macros and UI extensions by developing JavaScript macros on Room OS, creating custom UI panels and buttons, integrating UI events with macro logic, using HTTP client for external APIs, managing local storage, handling audio and video routing logic, and deploying macro packages to endpoints. Meetings account for 20% and address automating WebEx meetings scheduling and recording management. This medium difficulty domain needs about 25 hours of conceptual and scenario-based study. With the WebEx meetings XML API, you will schedule and update meetings, manage users and attendees, use the LST meeting interface, adjust site-level settings, understand XML API security and authentication, manage meeting templates, and retrieve meeting history and statistics. With the WebEx Meetings REST API, you will manage meeting recordings and transcripts, control active participants, integrate with WebEx calendar services, apply meeting preference APIs and personal meeting room controls, query recording metadata for download and playback, and manage guest access and invitations. Network Programmability Foundation is 10% of the exam and covers fundamental scripting, version control, and data model concepts. This easy domain requires about 15 hours and is assessed conceptually and with scenarios. You will learn Git for version control and branching, construct Python scripts using loops and conditionals, parse JSON, XML and YAML, implement REST API error handling, understand synchronous versus asynchronous calls, manage Python virtual environments, and identify common HTTP response codes to support automation across all other domains. To conclude, focus your study plan on hands-on practice and targeted review of each domain weight and objectives. Build small projects that use ACL, finesse, WebEx APIs, Zappy macros, and Python scripting, and practice scenario-based tasks to match the exam format. Good luck preparing for CLAUTO and use the official Cisco developer documentation to reinforce each topic before the test.